Ethan Klein has hit a new low again. So at the timing of this video, I released a video earlier that was titled Ethan Klein has hit a new low. And here I talk about Ethan Klein essentially making pager jokes in regards to Muslim people that he's beefing with, people like Denims, Frogan, as well as his coverage over what is going on in Iran. And the day that I uploaded this to YouTube, the same day, he decides to come out with what he is calling a second content nuke, even though it is really just him saying that he is going to sue 3 creators. Now, we're not going to get into the video. I have already seen the video. You have already probably seen at least some context of the video, but we're just going to talk about it a bit and how fucking stupid it is. So as we see here, Ethan Klein reveals he created his content nuke video to bait Hassan into watching it so he could sue him for copyright. Because Hassan never finished the video after spending 9 hours reacting to half, Ethan is suing 3 smaller female streamers instead.
What if I could make a long-form, irresistible piece of content that I knew that these streamers couldn't resist, they couldn't avoid the temptation of watching?
He's acting like a goddamn comic book villain of being like, oh, you walked right into my trap. You activated my trap card. Nobody believes this, by the way. Nobody believes that this is his master plan. This is obviously him just trying to find any way to stay relevant. And more than likely, this is just something that he could just kind of realize, like probably like a few weeks back of being like, I could sue them for copyright. Because like, the content nuke came out months ago. Why is he just doing this now? Like, it seems petty. It seems like he's just trying to keep his name relevant, and he's just doing it in the worst ways possible. But yeah, let's watch the rest of this.
Watching it the second it was published.
I don't have an issue with them.
It's not that I wanted these people to steal my video. It's that I knew they would. I knew they would watch the entire video, add little to no commentary, react to it instantly.
So these are the 3 streamers that he is suing for reacting to his content nuke. They weren't the only ones, by the way. This is Kaceytron, Frogan, and Denims. And these are the 3 that he has decided to go after. You know, all women, all smaller content creators, all of them very critical of him. But you know, he's just doing this purely based off the fact that they watched the video. That's it, right? Not because they're very critical of him, not because they're easy targets just for being women on the internet, not because they're smaller creators who wouldn't be able to go band for band with him in terms of legal fees, which would cause them to settle rather than continue the court process, making it so that he wins the case. No, that's not it at all. That's why he's definitely not going after Asmongold or XQC or even Hassan, because even though he didn't finish the video, he could still probably get him on those grounds of watching his content. It would be like watching half of the first Transformers film and then being like, well, you can't sue me for copyright, I only show the first half. But no, like, he could still go after Hassan for that, but he's not going to because he's a coward. Ethan Klein is a big old coward. That's why he's not going after Hassan. That's why he's not going after XQC, and that's why he's not going after Asmongold. Because with Hassan, he knows that Hassan would be able to go band for band with him. And with XQC and Asmongold, it would be the same thing, but also, he's not going after them because they agree with Ethan. This is such a biased way to handle this situation. And it is purely just a scare tactic of being like, this is what happened when you're critical of me, is that I would do everything in my power to go after you. And legally, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know much about like the legal process, in all honesty. So I'm not going to get into those details. I'm a little worried for these creators. They are trying to crowdfund for their legal defense. Obviously, they're not making as much as Ethan, so they're not going to have as much money to spend on legal fees. So if you want to support these creators, I would definitely check them out, see where you can donate, because this is just insane. He is using the legal system, he's using the copyright system to try to silence his critics, because if he was being fair in this whole, you know, going after people for stealing his content, even though the content nuke is literally just other people's content compiled together with Ethan just talking over it a bit. It's the same thing that he is accusing these people of doing. He's taking their content and just talking over it. That's it. And that's the thing too, is that Ethan does this all the time on his show. He literally just takes other people's content and reacts to it. He does this. He did it with fucking iDubbbz Content Cop, and you know, if fucking Ian iDubbbz did this to him, he would be crying nonstop. He would be like, "Oh, I'm being attacked by Ian."
The trap was set, and it worked even better than I imagined it would. We captured pretty much every large streamer reacting to it in its entirety immediately after it was published. Now, the thing is, there were a few people that went above and beyond to commit copyright infringement. For example, Denims sits here silently with nearly 50,000 live viewers. That's 30 times her regular viewership. She's working directly with the snark
even there, he is literally saying, he's just like openly saying, "Oh yeah, I'm deliberately going after smaller content creators." Like, he tried to do like a little bit of a dunk there, of being like, "Oh, because of me, she got a bigger audience." But it's like, yeah, you're going after a smaller content creator who doesn't get that much views otherwise and targeting them specifically. That's really messed up. But he's trying to use that as like a dunk.
Reddit moderators to siphon views, and their intentions couldn't be clearer. Here's an excerpt from a stickied post from the Snark subreddit. Hey,
and he's trying to use this as being like what he'll get into here with the Reddit, the H3 Snark thread, where they name all these creators. So people didn't want to watch the content nuke because they didn't want to support Ethan in any ways. And Hassan was very much like, "I'm not going to watch it." So people were trying to look for other ways to watch it without directly feeding into the view count of Ethan's video. And there are creators on this list who are legit like, "Yeah, I'll do that." Like, "Yeah, we'll just watch my stream instead of watching the video." That's the grounds that he's trying to attack them on being like, no, they were brazen of being like, watch my stream instead of his video. Therefore, he's trying to get them on that. But like, yeah, morally, it's the right thing to not contribute to a fucking Zionist view count to give him more money. Like, I don't give a fuck about the legal system in this case. It's very obvious that he's just using it to try to silence his critics. Yeah, I don't think if people could find other ways to view it without directly giving you money, essentially, then that's great. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. And his whole argument with this is essentially like, oh, they're stealing views in a way. Like, they're stealing views from my video, even though they're smaller content creators. So, like, how many views are they really stealing from this anyways? And if you're gonna attack them based off that, then let's go look at, Asmongold's reaction to the content nuke. Because I bet it has way more fucking views than what Denim has on hers. Yeah, 2 million. 2 million. And the most we get is, like, right here from an archive channel, which is, like, 6K. And by the way, it's really funny too, because he tries to make the argument of like, oh, there's barely any reactions, there's barely anything. His original video, the content nuke, is like an hour and 30 minutes long. This entire thing is like almost 4. This is her reaction to it. You're trying to say like, oh, I'm suing her because her reaction was not transformative. But what do you call a 4-hour reaction to an hour and a half video? What do you call that? And that's the thing too, is like, he also brings up his debate with XQC where they were talking about fair use, and I cover that on the channel. I made a video where I was reacting to the debate. And here's the thing, I do believe if you're going to react to someone's video, you should at the very least try your best to give additional context to try to make it transformative, because I do believe that there is a sense of you are kind of stealing someone's work. But the problem with that argument, something that I realize even as someone who does in a sense agree with that, and even then I don't think it should be taken to this amount, to like this degree of literally trying to sue someone. I think that's insane. But even I, who kind of like understands and is a bit for that argument, in a way, the problem with the argument is that, like, where does the line start and where does it end? What does it mean to be transformative? It's always going to be a different degree for every single person. Where's the line when it comes to being transformative? Like, that's the whole weird thing about like the transformative Reactgate shit. It's all going to be based on someone's personal preference. And yeah, like, obviously with the XQC thing back then, it was very clear that he was not being transformative. But that's also the thing with this, is that even XQC admits that him, while reacting to the content nuke, has literally said that he was not, sufficiently reacting to it. And Ethan Klein is like, yeah, that's fine. Like what we see here from This guy, XQC, admits he is not sufficiently reacting to Ethan Klein's content nuke and is instead just watching. Ethan Klein says he respects and acknowledges him for not reacting sufficiently to his content nuke. He is now suing 3 women for not sufficiently reacting to his content nuke. Ethan Klein is a raging dumbass. Yeah, and again, like I said before, it's because XQC is on Ethan's side. So if this was like an entirely different scenario of XQC reacting to a video, Ethan Klein would be on his ass. But because he knows that XQC is on his side, he doesn't care. That's it. It's petty bullshit. He can say that it's because he just doesn't like people stealing his content all he wants. It's because they don't agree with him. That's it. It's because they don't agree with him, and they're all women who get hated on a lot online, so he feels comfortable going after them. Because if it was Hassan, I feel like if he went after Hassan, I feel like it wouldn't just be Hassan's fan base that would be going after him, because Hassan's fan base already are, because he's been talking shit about him and his fan base for, over a year at this point. But also because Hassan is a bigger content creator who has connections to other content creators who would probably take an issue with Ethan Klein trying to sue him over this reaction. This also sets a very bad precedent, which Ethan Klein even helped. If you know the history of Ethan Klein has a history of fair use in content on YouTube in terms of the legal system, and he helped formulate the fair use stature to what it is today, because he had problems with a former content creator. Because Ethan reacted to his video, the guy who made the video got mad. Ethan was like, no, this was transformative, and then they went to court or whatever. Ethan Klein has essentially become the bad guy that he used to face off against. He has just become the worst version of himself. That's the thing about this, is it's very obvious that this is very targeted. It's not just a coincidence that he picked Kaceytron, Frogan, and Denims. Yeah, did they specifically state oh, we're just gonna watch this because we want to take views from him so that people won't contribute to his view count, to the money that he is making off this video? Yes. And here's the thing. Again, I said I don't know the legal system. It's why I'm a bit worried for them if this actually does get taken seriously, if he does try to take him to court. I mean, he also tried to sue Noah, and nothing has came of that yet. So this could just be a scare tactic, but it is something I'm a bit worried of, just because I don't want this guy to win, because he's a disgusting little freak. But at the same time, morally, I'm just yeah, what they did was the right thing. You're a piece of shit. You shouldn't be earning money for essentially transforming a disagreement over what Israel was doing into a big piece of drama slop. Because that's what happened. Him and Hassan ended leftovers because Hassan and Ethan disagreed on what was going on in Israel. And because he just couldn't deal with the fact that his audience didn't agree with him, he quit the show, and over the course of a year started to build up a bit of drama between him and Hassan, because he just can't act like an adult in this scenario. But yeah, let's watch this little clip of XQC literally saying that he did not react sufficiently enough, and Ethan just being like, oh, that's okay, while he tries to sue 3 women.
1 minute 36.
Yeah. This is Force's analogy, but yeah, it's also true. People said react this, react that. We don't hate reacts. It's lazy. I actually invented watching. I invented watching. People think reacting on stream. No, watching. I'm not reacting to this. I'm watching this. What about it?
He's taking his time to analyze. Well, anyway, my criticism isn't that he's watching. It's that he's watching terrorist propaganda. But yeah, it's a little different. But I hear your point. And listen, I respect it, man. I acknowledge you.
Yeah, he's literally saying I'm just watching this. I'm not reacting to it. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. It's very obvious that he's just targeting these people just because they disagree with him, these women. And let's bring up the actual video itself, because again, we're not going to watch the whole thing. I've already seen it. If you think that oh, this is just a coincidence, the people that Ethan are suing are all female creators critical of Ethan, or smaller content creators. Ethan Klein is very aware that that's what's going on, that these 3 people that he decided to sue are all women, smaller creators, and critical of him. He's aware of that. And this is what he has to say about it.
And to all the detractors who are saying that I'm targeting women, that I'm a hypocrite for suing for copyright infringement. I just have this to say. I don't care. What I do hope, though, is that you'll support their crowdfunding efforts to defend themselves. Because let's face it, I want to make sure there's money left over for me when I win my lawsuits.
He thinks he's so cool. And that's the crazy thing, too, is that he honestly thought that I was going to be like a cool moment of being like, I don't care. But he just comes off as a dweeby little wannabe comic book villain. And it's just like, even that little sting at the end of being like, well, I do hope you support the crowdfund so I can get more money. There's nothing that he's really going to gain from this outside of just silencing these people. Because, like, these are not creators who get a lot of views as it is. But, like, Denims is a smaller creator. I don't know how much money they each get, but it's definitely not going to be a lot. So, to also put that little stinger at the end of being like, oh, I can't wait to take all their money, it just comes off as really fucking gross. Especially when you're like a multi-millionaire. This is also something that I saw out of this. For someone who is very hostile for people stealing his content, even though he was also begging people to watch it, by the way. Especially Hassan, he was like begging Hassan to watch it. So I guess he was just mad that Hassan didn't fall into his trap. He didn't activate his trap card. Again, it's so fucking silly. Like, he's trying to act like this is his master plan. It wasn't. He's just desperate at this point. And also, I feel like he should be a bit gun shy of participating in the legal system, because he literally just lost his case against Ryan Kavanaugh for I believe it was a defamation suit. But yeah, Ethan Klein, a person who hates when people steal his content, literally stole the content of a fucking white nationalist. So like, here we have Ethan covering, because, you know, he wants to be a political content creator now. Iranian girls remove their hijabs, take over their school, and chant "Death to the dictator and the Islamic regime." Yeah, he literally stole this from a fucking white nationalist on Twitter. Iranian girls remove their hijabs, take over the school, and chant "Death to the dictator and his Islamic regime." And I looked this guy up. This guy literally follows like fucking white nationalists. For a guy who tries to, you know, really sell that he's a good guy for not being on Twitter because it's run by Elon, it's a little weird that he copied a tweet bar for someone who would never go on Twitter because it's run by Elon Musk. That's like the whole thing with him. He's like, I don't go on Twitter. Like, I'm not on Twitter anymore because it's run by Elon. But like, it's a little weird that you're doing. Who knows? Maybe he saw this on his Reddit. Maybe someone screenshotted it and put it on his Reddit. But still, like, you're not gonna do a little bit of research of like who this person is. Also, this is a funny thing. Fucking Ethan Klein and the Denims lawsuit compared Hassan to the Grand Mufti Haji Aman Hassani, who like literally worked with. He's literally comparing him to someone who would work alongside Nazis in a suit over Denims. Like, why is this even being brought up in the Denim suit? In the wake of October 7th, Hassan emerged as the modern incarnation of the Grand Mufti Hajjah Amin al-Hassani. Like al-Hassani, Hassan became a passionate advocate and highly charismatic leader of the Palestinian cause. Like al-Hassani, Hassan used his massive platform to spread genocidal rhetoric about anyone advocating for the right of Jewish self-determination in their ancestral homeland, i.e. Zionist. Yeah, you don't understand. You don't understand. Israelis have the right to kill whoever they want. They have the right to do genocide. They have the right to genocide Palestinians. And you're going to argue that they shouldn't? That's disgusting. That's gross. By the way, Ethan's pro-Palestine. He says that all the time. You probably wouldn't notice because of shit like this. But he swears he's a stalwart supporter of the pro-Palestine cause, but he also likes to compare Hassan, a real pro-Palestine voice, to someone who worked alongside Nazis. He also says that Jewish voices for peace are akin to capos, you know, Jews who also worked alongside Nazis during the Holocaust. He really seems to hate every pro-Palestinian voice there is, huh? There's no good pro-Palestinian voice for him, apparently, unless, you know, they directly work for like Israeli groups who are meant to do Israel propaganda, like that one guy he fucking had on. The primary difference between Hassan and al-Hassani is that al-Hassani worked with the Nazis and advocated the annihilation of Jews, while Hassan advocates the annihilation of all Zionists. Since the vast majority of Jews in the United States say caring about Israel is essential or important, this wouldn't necessarily include the vast majority of Jews. It would also include a lot of Christians, so trying to make it solely about anti-Semitism is really fucking stupid. Because Zionists aren't a fucking ethnic group, they're a political group. And again, there are more Christian Zionists than there are Jewish Zionists. You're not saying that he wants to kill all Christians though, do you? Because you would realize that that would make your argument seem so fucking stupid. This is the same shit that Sam Cedar called him out for during their argument of being like, there are way more Christian Zionists than Jewish Zionists. So saying that he is being anti-Semitic in this case when he said that anyone who has Zionist tendencies should not even be a fucking dog catcher or whatever, like, that is dangerous. That's a dangerous conflation, because you are trying to conflate Zionist, a political movement, with Judaism, with Jewish people, when that's not the case, when there are tons of Christian Zionists. It's so fucking gross, but Ethan refuses to make that conflation because he realized it would make his argument sound dog shit. It's why you also see so many pro-Israel people use the same argument, because they try to conflate the two so much, just to protect the genocidal government of Israel. But again, Ethan Klein is pro-Palestine, even though he has tons of pro-Israeli Zionist talking points. It's just so fucking gross. I don't know how this man can fucking sleep at night and look at the camera and be like, yeah, I'm pro-Palestine, when he spreads so much Zionist propaganda on the regular. It's fucking disgusting. And again, I don't know about like the legal side of this, how far this is gonna go. Again, the Noah Samson case didn't go anywhere, so we'll see. Who knows? It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. We haven't had any updates. He obviously didn't even talk about it during the video. It's not like he mentioned Noah, so I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. I think he's literally just doing this as a scare tactic. But if it does, I'm a little conflicted on where it will go. The only thing is that Ethan's only evidence is them directly saying, oh yeah, watch us instead of him, don't contribute to his view count. But Ethan, I think, also has a problem when it comes to being, I don't know, there's a thing with like malice. Could that be used as a defense? I think it's very obvious that he's directly targeting them just because they don't agree with him. Again, he, hand wave XQC of being like, oh yeah, he's not sufficiently reacting to it, but whatever, that's fine. He's not going after Asmongold, but that's because Asmongold fucking agrees with him. So, it's just fucking crazy. It's very obvious that he just has a problem with people being against him. And instead of actually just going to Hassan, the main guy that he has a problem with, he would rather go after the smaller content creators, the ones who are more than likely going to get shit on just for being women, who already have like a ton of hate being spewed at them anyways, because it would just be easier than going after Hassan. Because with Hassan, there's a bigger fan base you got to deal with. There's a bigger streamer atmosphere that you're going to have to deal with anyways, because there would be other people coming out of the woodworks being like, this is a messed up situation. Because they would also probably realize that it would ruin the game a bit of like, the streamer landscape of being like, oh, you're, targeting fair use in this sense. Even if you don't fuck with Hassan, you would probably realize that's not a good thing, especially if you're like a reaction guy. So it's just like an insanely bad way to go. But again, he's picking smaller people to go after, people that usually don't have a lot of people to stick up for them, who are relentlessly attacked by people like Asmongold and Tectone, that, people aren't going to notice, people aren't going to give a shit. So again, if you're watching this video, if you would like to contribute whatever you can to these people, I would definitely check them out, because again, he is trying to use his money, he is trying to use his platform, his fan base to silence these people. And it is so fucking gross. But that's all I really gotta say on the topic. Hello everyone, thank you for watching today's video. If you would like to see other videos like this, please leave a like and subscribe down below. If you would like to hear me talk about a lot more nerdy subjects such as anime, comic books, video games, movies, and even pro wrestling, you can check out my second channel, The Fruit Basket. And if you would like to see me play video games, I have a channel called FruitySaur Gaming where you can check out those videos there. Anyways, that's all I have for today, and I'll see you all next time.